Hey guys, what's up? Mobby here. Today, I'm going to give you a full sample duel for these two leaders from OP14 Blue Jinbe and Red Law. If you guys just want the deck profiles, I'll flash it here on screen. You can go ahead and pause it. For Jinbe, the whole goal is to destroy the opponent fast. You're primarily swarming the board to do so. In the Trafa deck, you're actually having a lot of rushing cards. You still want to rush, just like Jinbe, except you focus on having more creatures on beforehand, power creatures to the late game in order to swap powers. So today it's going to be me playing both, but of course giving you the ins and outs, what you want to keep, what you want to remove, step by step on how to play. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the bottom leader first. So this is Jinbe, and this is our starting hand. Now, we have a very good starting hand because you primarily want to go low, quick and fast, and we did start with our searching card, which is good. You have some 2Ks in here. This is not primarily not going to be used. This is good for late game stopping blockers. This is good for Ace AP, and these two are really good afterwards. So let's go ahead and play the Arlong. So go ahead and search. Now we can only grab a character that's 2 or higher. This is really good. We're not going first, so we probably don't want this. We can't grab this, so we either grab the Aladdin or more defense. So let's go ahead and grab the Aladdin, and then pretty good to go. Can't do anything else in the turn. Now it's time for Law's turn. Going second, this Law actually has a decent hand. I can throw out the Luffy, I can throw out the Cavendish, the Borto, or the different Bortos here. Can't attack first. We'll go ahead and try to grab an earlier card with Luffy, definitely. So you can see here, there is a 4 here. So we want to grab, we have a late game here. We have the perfect late game. So we have Zoro and we have Trafa. We are missing that sort of in between. So we want to grab either this Captain Kid or this Killer. Now, one lets you rush, one lets you summon another card. Because we're going second, we do want to kind of rush. So we're probably, like, both of these are honestly really good. I'm going to grab the Captain Kid though, because we already have Luffy to swap out powers. And put the rest of the bottom, doesn't matter. Unfortunately, can't do anything with that one Dawn in the turn. All right, so back over here. You can see here that we have... All right, one more thing I changed out. You can see I lowered the little black bar here so you can know exactly how many cards the opponent has, but you don't know what they are. So you can kind of think of it that sort of way, right? So you can see the opponent has 6 cards, and even if I hover over it, let's go ahead and move this a little bit more. So you can hover over it, 6 cards. Right there. I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom. This is 6 as well. So we'll go ahead and switch that so you guys can see it. So it's important to see how many cards they have total. All right, anyway, bot's going. Cool. We can now attack our first turn. Like I said, the whole game plan here, you don't want to go late. You do have late, but I think Trafa has much better late than Jinbe. So Jinbe wants to kill. Unfortunately, he's a 5 life leader, so it's going to be kind of tough. However, let's start attacking. So we have 3 Dawn here. We can summon this guy. He can get rush. However, you want, if you're going to put more Dawn on more characters, you're going to need more than 3 Dawn here. I think it's important to just set up more characters here. So do double chew. And you might want to go ahead and do this. You usually want to attack with characters beforehand, but because you actually need rest the Dawn to do things, you can't really do it that way. So I'll go ahead and use Jinbe's ability. I'm going to go ahead and remove this thing and give this Arlong +2. And we'll start attacking for 5. Now, this Law here has 6. Will they go ahead and counter? Now, going back to the Law, let's see. You can technically... So you know that Jinbe wants to rush you down, and you probably want to defend. At least, maybe 1 or 2, right? Because Jinbe has 1 more Dawn, so you don't want to throw out a 2K. So we're going to throw out this nice little 1K, and then they're going to go ahead and block that. Now, of course, we don't have anything else to play, so we will actually attach, let it go and attack, and with 5 cards left, nothing much to do. Law will just go ahead and take this, and no trigger happened. All right, now that that's done, nothing left to do, we go ahead and end the turn, and now it's Law's turn. We have 4 Dawn. Now, kind of like Jinbe, you might want to throw out your characters before attacking again because you have the power swapping ability. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We'll get this Kid out here. Kid allows you to play another 2,000 or less Supernova. Luckily, we have some here. I can play this guy, which gets you Dawn, but I think I'd rather keep the 2K. Let's go ahead and throw out this Cavendish. It might have been better to actually keep that Borto just for the blocker. So it really is up to you whether or not you want to keep one or the other. So let's go ahead and start attacking. Now, the question is, go for the character, go for face. Like I said, for Trafa, we have better late game. We have better characters. Probably should go ahead and destroy this opponent. So we'll go ahead and use my ability, swap out the 5,000 for this Luffy's 5,000 here. Now we can go ahead and start attacking right into it. We can give it -2,000. we definitely don't want to counter out of that as Jinbe, so it goes away. Now Trafa can't do anything else but attack face. Now Jinbe has 5 life, 5 cards. He'll probably keep it and take the hit. All right, then that's it. Nothing left we can do. We swap over to bottom. With 5 Dawn here, you can see what we have in our hand here. So it's going to be best to play either Aladdin or Shirahoshi. Because we saw that Trafa is actually trying to destroy our characters, you might want to throw a blocker out ACP. The Shirahoshi block, draws a card, and lets you play a 3 cost or lower Merfolk from your hand. This is really good. So you can throw out this, you can throw out these Wadatsumis for future attacking, but you probably just want to throw out these Karubis because they can actually attack the turn that they come out. However, do you need it to attack the turn that it comes out? Probably not. We're going to use Jinbe's ability again, start trashing some cards. Let's get rid of these. Now this is really bad because we don't have our late games. We need at least one of our late game 8 cost Jinbes. So we probably need to keep the Shirahoshi so we can draw more cards. Let's get rid of this Aladdin and give 2 to Chu and start attacking. So here's the deal. Law can pretty much only give a swap between 2 characters. So keeping 2 low cost characters isn't really that bad. You can go ahead and destroy the Luffy, easily kill it. It's up to you to decide whether or not you think the when attacking of the -1000 is worth killing or not. I think in this specific scenario, it doesn't matter because guess what? The Karubi or the Chu can attack into this Luffy, so who cares? Attack face for 5,000. Law has 5 cards. What will Law do? Well, Law, going back to Law. Okay, so our next turn is a 6 cost. We don't have a really good 6 cost turn. I think we should definitely block out of one of these attack, and we'll probably take the other hit if Jinbe starts going up. So we'll probably go for the match plus. So go ahead and do the no blocker. And we will go ahead and do 1, resolve that attack. Now back to Jinbe here. So now Jinbe is going to go straight into this Luffy. Definitely don't want to block. Well, you can do this. So I think they will do that. And then we'll go ahead and attack into this one again. Let him go. And then here we go. Now Jinbe, just add 1 again to attack. So this is very dangerous because Law is very, very, very low on cards. However, screw it. Their whole game plan is all about rushing you down. Screw it. Let's get rid of a 2K and go for it. Resolve. Now, nothing else Jinbe can do. We end the turn. Now it's Law's turn. Nice. So we have a 6 here. Unfortunately, we don't have a very good curve, but we did find a searching card. Top 4 for a Straw Hat or Supernova. So we're probably going to grab the Zoro because he's a rushing card. I think it's really good to grab right now. So grab the Zoro, and we're probably going to play the Zoro as well. So we're going to definitely be swapping power to the Cavendish. So let's go ahead and keep this blocker up, right? So I think the first thing we'll do is we have 5, we have 2 Dawn left over. I'm going to go ahead and just attack just to see what the opponent does. We want to clear out the board most likely. So we'll go ahead and attack 5 into this guy here. And we want to keep, as Jinbe, we want to keep all of our available cards ready to attack. We'll go ahead and just block out the Shirahoshi, who gives a crap. Back over here, we're going to attack now, probably throwing out the Zoro, and we have 2 extra Dawn. So we're gonna go ahead and do this, and we'll go ahead and attack. So you don't want to attack the Karubi over these guys. They have the same amount of power. The on play already happened. If you attack this one, it gets you draw a card. More options for the opponent. So definitely focus on one of these first. Now Jinbe, Jinbe can technically defend against that. Do we want to? Okay, so if we look at what Law can do, they can get maybe 2 more attacks in. So it's up to you whether or not. And we don't have a really good way of, we don't have a really, really crazy next turn. So we might want to keep 1 alive, but we'll go ahead and see what happens. So we'll let him attack that. Go ahead and destroy it. Back to the Law. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and swap out powers for the Zoro to the Cavendish. So we'll go ahead and attack into this one again. Same deal. Do you want to keep it alive or not? Zoro is already done. This Captain Kid can attack. Here's the deal. If we protect this, well, most likely Law should attack with the Captain Kid, making it so, guess what? The blocker isn't active anymore, so we'll probably go ahead and spend a little bit of counter and block out of it. So we'll do Wadatsumi, but I don't really want to get rid of the Shirahoshi or this Karubi. So we're going to play a little off curve with the countering and go here. Nice. That's a lot. It's a lot. So back to Law. Okay. We don't really need to keep the 2 Dawn up. I think we make sure 1 definitely gets taken out. So we'll go ahead and attack that. Jinbe is not going to touch that. Boom. That's it. Okay. Oh, we actually drew our Jinbe. However, we got to wait 1 more turn to even summon it. So we're going to do what we wanted to do. Very limited options, but your definitely next play is going to be Shirahoshi draw into throwing out this guy right here, Karubi, because once a card is trash, Karubi will get rush. So we'll go ahead and do this right now. So we want to trash a card, but here's the deal. It's a little rough. Do you want to get rid of your 2Ks or your Jinbes? It's going to be a little weird. So we'll probably get rid of a Jinbe because we want to keep at least one 2K. Unfortunate. Now we're going to give 2 Dawn to this Karubi right here. And we'll go ahead and activate both their abilities, giving them rush when something happens. So now, this is looking really rough for Jinbe, I'm not gonna lie, because guess what? Once again, Law goes late game. So Jinbe, rough spot. He is defended a lot. He doesn't have a lot of cards in hand. So maybe, hey, maybe he has a lot of late game stuff that can't do stuff. Maybe we should just attack and see what happens. So we'll go ahead and go 5 into this blocker right here. We'll go ahead and do that. So what's Law going to do? Well, Law kept at least one counter here, so that's completely fine. We're going to go ahead and block out of that. Resolve that. Back to Jinbe. 2 cards left. Well, what do we do about that? Well, let's go ahead and keep attacking. How about 5,000 into another one of your little blockers? We know Trafa doesn't have the defense, so we'll go ahead and resolve that. If he didn't get rid of that 1/1, we have to assume that he doesn't have any more again. So let's go ahead and just attack another character. This is weird. This is a weird matchup. It's rushing. However, they're both at 4 life. They're playing it nice and safe here, right? So let's go ahead and do this. We don't need to keep the 1 Dawn active because there really isn't 1 Dawn we can do anything with except the 1 event. So go ahead and destroy the high cost character. And we know Law bricked. And we'll do that. So nice. Okay, we'll go ahead and end the turn here. And looking like a good position for our Jinbe, at least going in. However, late game is once again is where Trafa shines. We got this Rush Zoro, Rush Trafa soon. We'll go ahead and summon the Zoro first. Nice. So we'll go ahead, and what you want to do is you definitely want to probably attack with the Kava first if possible, but because you swap powers, you can't. You gotta attack with Zoro first. So here we go again. What to do? Face, remove characters. In this case, we remove characters because we feel as Trafa better late game over Jinbe. Let's go ahead and attack characters. Attack into this Karube, giving somebody negative 1,000. I'll give it to this guy. Now we'll go ahead and just block out of that. We want to keep this alive as Jinbe. Boom. Now we're going to go ahead and swap out characters, swap out powers. Cavendish is now this much, 8,000. We'll go ahead and attack the Karube. 8 to 3. Go ahead and just kill it, right? Can't defend it. Now, and we drew a card. Jinbe ended up getting a pudding off of that. Okay, so here we go. We do have some counter, I think, in this deck. Or maybe it's more searching for 1 Dawn. But we'll go ahead and just keep it up active just in case and attack this guy. No way they're defending that, so it's gone. Boom. All right, and Jinbe drew another card. Now, unfortunately for Tra, even though, like I said, Trafa has better late game, because you have lots of late game, you have both the Zoro and the Trafa. The Jinbe only has the 8-drop, really. Luckily, we have 2 of them now. So we have 9 costs. We can throw out this Jinbe, or we can do other stuff. It's probably better to throw out this rushing card, so we'll go ahead and do that. We'll deploy it, and then we'll activate its ability on play. You can rest 2. Can't do that, unfortunately. But the first ability, you trash 1 card in order to, and we'll go ahead and trash the pudding. Probably not going to use the pudding. Trash a card to give 2 Dawn to anybody. So we'll go ahead and make sure that the Zoro 100% gets killed. If the opponent has 2 cards in their hand, worst case scenario, if you're attacker, 2 2Ks, right? 2 2Ks, or even a 4K defending, 4K counter card. So you want to buff up at least 2,000 to 4,000 above a character you want to attack. We are 12,000, 8,000. Boom. The Trafa, obviously, the opponent doesn't know what we got. We left with Dawn up. So worst case scenario for Jinbe, if we have a plus 4,000 counter, plus any other counter. Unfortunately, we didn't have it, but you can see why you want to sort of leave a Dawn up, even if it's not to not to 100% on your opponent's turn, so you can kind of bluff. So that's why they are forced to use even more Dawn. So we know can't block about that. There he goes. Now here we go. We're just gonna go ahead and attack straight into this Cavendish. So I guess we want to make sure 100% this thing's gonna be dying. 4,000 plus. If we didn't defend against the Zoro, we're definitely not gonna defend against this. Leave it. So now we have this Jinbe here. This Jinbe, this is a weird game, guys. This is like not going any of these guys' plans. Okay, so we drew this Basil Hawkins. Unfortunately, Basil Hawkins was not drawn towards the beginning of the game, which is one of the best cards for this deck, because you kill, if anyone attacks into it, gets KO'd, you can resummon other cards. So that's pretty good. So there really isn't much to do here. That's really, really bad. So what we're going to do is we're just going to summon this Law as a 10,000 rush. Jinbe has 3 cards. I think we just have to go for Jinbe, because guess what? If you're bricked up, but your opponent goes next, I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? On your opponent's attack once per turn, trash 2 cards to swap out characters. So swap out characters to leader power. So on our defense, we can get rid of 2 bricks for a Jinbe to be strong. So here's the deal. What do? If you attack into this, you're gonna leave this very vulnerable. So this is weird, but let's go ahead and restart the turn. So what you're gonna want to do instead is just attack with your leader first, attack face. Now Jinbei's like, oh, okay, well, I have a lot of health, moving out some cards. I'll go ahead and resolve it just in case. Let it go. Got a 2k, nice. Okay, so in this specific scenario, even though you are a rush deck, I recommend Trafa, Basil, end your turn, because you really need a strong character in order to even switch out. So next turn, Jinbei's gonna attack for 10, maybe another Jinbe. However, you have 10 plus 10 on the board by swapping out these 2 powers. So I mean, you're literally playing the long game with these 2, which is kind of rough. All right, so here we go. Okay, so we have a bunch of cool stuff. You want to just keep throwing stuff on the board. So what we're gonna do is throw out Jinbe, and we're gonna use his ability now. You can use it when you have 8, 9. Or 10 Don is when you activate it. Rest 2 Don, draw 2, which is amazing. We draw 2 more cards, then we get to bounce back a 7 or less, which is this. So now the Trafa doesn't have the extra counter attack. However, they at least still have the Trafa, which is kind of cool. So we'll go ahead and do the Jinbe ability of trashing a card from my hand, and we'll probably trash out this Arlong. We don't really need Arlong. And then we'll go ahead and give 2 to Jinbe here. These 2 also get rushed. So we'll go ahead and attack 7,000. We don't really need to get rid of any more cards. Jinbe only has, Trafa only has 2 cards, right? So we can trash 2 to make sure it lives. We don't take the hit. No, we'll take the hit. So we'll take the hits. Then Jinbe attacks. I'm not gonna do it. Take the hit. Jinbe attacks. I'm not gonna do it. Take the hit. So we got a trigger for Trafa, which is search or draw. Now in this specific scenario, probably going to at least, like, this is really rough for Trafa now. We'll go ahead and just draw. You could probably search. You can get an argument that, hey, maybe I want to find another Trafa, or maybe find another Zoro. I don't think it's gonna happen. All right, so that's it for Jinbe and the turn for Trafa. Oh, we ended up getting a rush card. Now there's no way that we can kill the opponent. We literally need 4 attacks, and Jinbe has 5 cards in their hand. So this is really, really looking bad for the Trafa here. So what are we going to do? Well, we have 2 blocking cards in our hand, so we could potentially survive. And we definitely, if we want to survive, we can't kill them. We need to take out one of the Jinbes. So with 5 cards in their hand, assuming some are bricks, and you want to keep at least two Don, maybe 2 more for this one with 2 more on it. So you need 6 Don. You want to put 4 on here, making it so you can do 14,000. However, if you 14,000 and the opponent has 2 2Ks plus anything else, your plan is going to fail. So we're going to make sure that we can almost 100% kill this Jinbe. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 over. If they have it, then they have it. But you really need to do a little bit more, just going for it. So if you want to win, this one has to go through. You summon the Barto blocker, summon 2 more Basil Hawkins, and hopefully you can survive. So here we go, 16,000. So you're playing to win. You're not playing to survive 2 turns in a row. You need to kill one of these. So going over to Jinbe, 16,000. Let's see what we got. So we have 12, 14, 16. Exactly enough. Not enough. So, man, Trafa got lucky. We can go ahead and destroy this thing. Boom. Now that our game plan is on, we can go ahead and start surviving. So let's go ahead and attack straight to Jinbe's face. Jinbe's like, I'm just going to go ahead and block out of that. So a couple things you could do here. You can go Fisher Tiger or Shirahoshi to block it. Both these are really good to play on your next turn. But basically, I think you definitely probably want to just get rid of the Shirahoshi. It's completely fine. You can do either or for that one. All right, now Trafa is going to go into this Basil. So this one has blocker. And we have 2 more random Basil Hawkins. So these ones, like, our board is filled up. If we survive next turn, we might be able to win. Maybe win. Very low possibility, but we could technically win here. Okay, so ending turn. Now oh my god, we ended up getting another Jinbe. So that's really, really bad for the opponent. For Trafa, we pretty much win now. So let's go ahead and throw out this guy here. Use the ability to draw 2 cards, bounce back a 7 or less. And now we have as many cards as you want to trash. Give to my leader. get trash, give to the leader, etc. And the opponent has 4 cards. However, we need to get 2 attacks in, but the Trafa does have the ability here. So we added 4 on here to make it 9,000. So we'll go ahead and attack for 9,000. We can get rid of a couple more cards, but we'll go ahead and attack 9,000. So if the opponent, if Trafa has a lot of 2Ks, which honestly, you can do you can match double plus up. However, it's probably better to just use this so we can maybe 100% block the attack. So we're going to remove 2 cards and have it base 10,000 here. So boom, boom, swap these 2. Now you're 10,000 blocked. However, now you just don't have any other cards. Now you don't have any cards. Now you're gonna go ahead and do stuff. So you don't really need to trash to add more. There's 0 chance that they can get up to 10,000 plus. So you just simply attack. And now for good measure, you will go ahead and Jinbe this. Boom, boom. Activate that. Jinbe trash. Here we go. Do that again. Jinbe trash. Boom, boom. And then finally go in and straight attack. And that is game. Nothing you can do here. Counter out. Leader ability already used, even if it wasn't used. All right, guys. So that is a sample match of how Jinbe and Trafa works. I think in OP14, they're pretty fun to play against because they are very similar. They both want a straight out attack. It all depends on if Trafa can get those better cards, because I think Jinbe is more consistent with drawing more and getting exactly what you need. The Trafa is fun. However, you really need to rely on having early Basils and early Luffys on the field in order to swap out powers from the Zoros and the late game cards. You know, we only had, like, look at this. We even have Gum Gum Red Rock as a trigger here. We had another Kurobe, which is another rushing card, and then another Aladdin here. So the Jinbe in this scenario worked out really well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what 2 decks you want me to have up against each other. You know, let you guys know how it works. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.